Ooh, I forgot how loud that intro is. I got new headphones and that sounds amazing. Welcome
Shit.
back to Be Seen. We are hopping into the fray of horror movies. It's spooky season. We're back at it. We're talking movies all throughout October. It looks like we got a lot of cool ones coming out, including The Nun, but none more are important than the one we're talking about right now, and that is Talk to Me. Ooh, this was creepy. It
Oh
was done
yeah, I
so
know.
well. Probably one of my favorites. What do you think? So in the beginning,
I like this one a lot, especially like the ending. I don't want to like do too much spoilers yet, but yeah, I was like really uh big on this one.
hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's an it's a new premise and a new way to do something that's been done a bit, but it was very cool and very well um, executed. So let's hop into that synopsis. When a group of friends discovers how to conjure spirits by using an embalmed hand, they become hooked on the new thrill until one of them unleashes terrifying supernatural forces.
Uh,
Yes, that's right. So basically, what happens is somebody that could reach over to the other side passes away. They took the hand, they put it in ceramic. I want to say they like covered in ceramic,
yeah.
and then you basically have this hand with like all this stuff on it, which they didn't get into. I'm hoping that they do if they do a sequel, which I'm sure they will. This made pretty good bank, but you shake the hand and then you say talk to me, and then you say let me in, or come enter me
I
or
let
something
you
like that.
in.
I let you in, yeah. And then the demon or ghost or whatever jumps into you. Now, there's a couple of interesting things that I noticed with this movie. They basically had ghosts to people that were also mediums, like the girl, the kid in the beginning. Like not everybody, when they experienced that, saw the ghost. Right? Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird thing, but since we're talking about it, let's get into what worked. All right, Billy, what worked for you?
All right. I was mentioning this a little bit before we started taping, but if I can get into the spoilers a little early, I was gonna say like the Chekhov's gun thing of this.
Yep.
Like the girl basically tells you what will happen to her in the most horrific way possible, and you
Yes,
don't realize it until the end, and it's great.
it's great. It's really great. So, one of the things that I was saying earlier was knowing the fact that some people have the same gift, and those are the ones that can see the spirits, and then you get that experience through the camera as they grab the hand. You see the ghosts when other people just get their eyes black, and you don't really see too much. They just go through the motions. So I thought that was an interesting premise. It kind of like foreshadowed either that person joining the spiritual world as well, or the fact that they had the gift. And there is a possibility, I don't know how creepy this could be if they do a sequel, that maybe her hand is the hand in the sequel.
Oh, that would
That
actually be good.
would be
'Cause,
creepy.
yeah.
It'd be worth it. Um, so the main protagonist here, and you think is the protagonist, but this is the first time I've seen a movie ever do this. This is the first time, to me, in cinematic history, where the protagonist is also the antagonist in the long run. And I thought this was so properly done. It was incredible to have that flip on the quarter part towards the end of the film, that your protagonist is not the good guy. And I thought
Oh,
it was incredible. And there was a lot of sweet moments between family siblings, half brother and sister, and the kinship that they had. There was the older sister was kind of a dick to the younger brother, and the stepsister was always kind of really cool. And then it flips, just like the protagonist to antagonist flip also took place. I thought that was a very well done uh, writing and execution. I thought this cast was incredible. These guys really put their full all into it. Like when the first time she gets possessed and she does this freaky laugh that I think even the Joker would smile at. It just got me and the audience that I was watching it with. I saw popcorn flood with it. It had all the proper reactions, and that's why you go to the movies, friends. You got to experience it with other people and see them enjoy it as much as you. And some of these reactions to these jump scares were just incredible.
Oh yeah, I remember I saw this in a little theater in the middle of nowhere in Nevada, and
Wow,
it was funny. Like I was the first one in the theater, and I was like, "It's a 3 o'clock in the afternoon show. I'm probably going to be one of the only ones here." And I saw the crowd still pile in towards like the last 10 minutes.
oh wow,
It was nice.
that's awesome. One of the other things that worked for me was the way that the makeup was, the practical special effects. The one ghost that I guess was a drowning victim.
Oh
The
yeah.
Yeah, when the main girl got in there and like, oof, when she saw that first, the freak out from her seeing that was incredible. Like, just so well done. And then just seeing all of the, like, you could definitely see she was a drowned victim. And the way that you see the maggots on her and like the water kind of coming off her face, they did such a good job. I thought it was incredible.
And I also like the vomit on the mother who OD'd on sleeping pills.
Yeah, that was a good one. Good catch. Absolutely. That was incredible. It was just creepy. I mean, the movie starts off with a big bang because you have
Yeah, they just
Cole.
have some guy that was in the same situation
Right.
stab his brother and then jam a knife in his head.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
find out later on that the brother actually survived, but just the guy that jammed the knife in his head dies.
Yeah. I thought that was a really nice touch too. There was just so many like sways. And I'm going to get into the cast because there's some things I want to talk about them and a very special person that was in this. All right, so this is a movie from Down Under. You got Marcus Johnson, Sonny Johnson, Sarah Brokenshaw, Hamish Phillips, Ari McCarthy, Kit Earhart Bruce, Jaden Davidson, Sophie Wilde, um, Kittian Zilke, Joe Bird. That's funny. His name's Joe Bird. I'm Joe Dub. We're cousins, man. Uh, and Jet Gasly, as well as, now this is what got me, Miranda Otto. Now, do you remember where Miranda Otto is from?
Lord of the Rings.
That's right. Very good, Billy. Good catch. We got Jude Turner, Zoe Terekas dog, which was the dog, Alexander Jensen, and Helene Philippou. And that was the possessed girl on the phone. Yeah, that was such a. I was like, I know that woman from somewhere. I was doing the, I know her, And then it was like, that I think. And then once like there was a certain angle that caught, reminded me of the Riders of Rohan. I was like, oh, that's the girl from Lord of the Rings. So that was an exciting moment and so fun to catch. The dad.
Yeah, so far, I've never seen a movie with Miranda Otto that I didn't like. But then again, I've only seen her in this and The Lord of the Rings.
I'm sure she's done a ton of movies. She's a very skilled actress. She was in, and if you hadn't seen it, you should go back and watch The Thin Red Line, and she was in War of the Worlds. So those are two good movies that I enjoyed, and I think you probably get a kick out of it. All right, now let's see what didn't work. So what didn't work for you, Bill?
It's tough to say because there was, there was some parts where it was predictable, but I did enjoy that towards the end. I mean, I knew like that. Well, actually, I thought that she was going to kill the kid and they were going to die like a murder suicide thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I didn't think the friend was going to actually stop her and throw her in front of the car.
Right.
Sorry,
Yeah.
spoiler.
I mean, it's been a couple of weeks. So,
Yeah, it's been almost a month.
yeah. This is 1 week later ish.
This is 1 month later.
1 month later, yeah. It's not literal, guys. It's the whole point of the show. We'll get
It was
to
nice because it was like it kind of gave me like a Shining vibe with that,
Yeah,
and
good call.
it was nice. It was like it was occasionally low scale, and I felt like the movie was over quick.
Yeah, I felt that's my main gripe about the movie. I felt like it was a very short movie, but it was a 90-minute movie. It was an old school horror movie like Hellraiser. It did its thing. It got you shock and awe. It had some moments that were like, oh, geez, and then it resolved everything. But it didn't really leave much open for a sequel. But we'll get into that later. So what didn't work for me, I think, was very simplistic length, but as well as it would have been kind of cool to have like a backstory of the hand, even though it's a plot device, but it still was like, oh, whose was it? Like, it would have been cool to find out like it was her mom's hand, and that's why her mom killed herself. You know what I mean? Like that type of like all encompassing moment would have been really insane. Another thing that the bully turned friend, I thought was pretty interesting.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like I thought that she was a cool character. It was like she had this swagger, very, oh, you don't want to do this, and then she was the one trying to help out. I thought that was a very cool switch. Again, like this movie is really good at flipping out your expectations on character development. I think that's one of the best things about this movie. And of course, we've got, though it's not something that it did surprise me. It was one of the things that really got me to like the movie. But at the same time, it was like, really, she's the bad guy. Like it kind of wilded me out to see this total, complete turnaround on this character based off of her possessions. And it's not like she did it out of malice. It's just like she wanted to save her best friend's little brother or stepbrother, and she also wanted to connect with her mom. So
yep. And she just let them in too long, and if you let
yeah,
them in too long, they'll keep you.
yeah, and they kept her, and that was one of the things that kind of bothered me. But it's not, even though I'm saying it in this section of the show, I just don't think I think the twist was dope. It's one of those things that I wrestled with because it was like, oh, I really like that, but oh man, why did she have to be the bad guy? She was.
Yeah, I just don't know if the little brother will try to keep killing himself again.
Yeah, we
Still,
never got a true
got a resolution on that.
We kind of did because she was walking out of the hospital. There wasn't any issues when she was the ghost going into the hospital. She kind of just like walked out. Like she saw them walking out. She saw her dad walking out. Like everybody seemed to be okay, but she wasn't. Like her when she, like I kind of got what they were doing. Like they were doing a little Sixth Sense with it. And then I figured like it was definitely revealed when she looked at her hands and her hands were all mangled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once that happened, it was like, okay, yeah, she did. And the resolve to end it, I thought that was an interesting way, that the way they filmed it. So what ends up happening is she tries to save her little brother from these demons because she was able to see into it, and they had like what's called a legion, basically possessing him. It was like a whole bunch at once. And she thought if she killed him, then she would save him, but that's not what really happens. And she was basically going to just throw him into traffic. All right, wheelie, here we go, and then her best friend comes and pushes her into traffic instead. And it basically resolves everything, which I thought was kind of weird. That part didn't really work with me because it was like, wait, that's the resolve? Like you kill the one person and everything's fine? Like he was really possessed. He's smashing his own head into stuff.
Yeah, he was like really trying to off himself.
Yeah. And it seems like it was a throwaway line that led to it. It was like, oh yeah, basically, you just hang out and then they go away.
Yeah, you don't touch the hand and eventually you'll go through withdrawal.
Yeah, you'll go back to normal. Everything will be fine. It was like, really? that's the real resolve. It was like just chill. Wow.
Yeah,
Like,
it was an addict thing. It was like
yeah,
they did like the metaphor for drugs and stuff like that.
basically. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good call. Well, let's see how it was received. This franchise did, it might become a franchise that did very well on both ends. 94% fresh, and then the fans, the audience, us, we the people, 82% fresh popcorn. I thought it blew the charts, and I think it's well deserved acclaim. I think this is one of those movies that's going to be, when you think of horror films, this is going to be in that same vein as a lot of your favorites, like The Exorcist and Poltergeist and Phantasm. What about
Oh
you?
yeah, when the streaming comes out, this is going to be like a holiday favorite for a lot of people.
This is the new Christmas movie. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, this is going to be like Halloween. This is going to be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I could watch like Halloween, or I could watch Talk to Me. I would rather watch this as opposed to like the more recent Halloween movies.
Yeah. This has a lot more to offer, I mean, though I love and adore slashers, I feel like there's so many different levels that could be had here, and I think the offering is quite good. And let's talk about that little news clip. So they are talking about the ending, which was always meant to kick off a franchise. So basically, the idea was this was going to be 1 to 1 million different movies. Do you think this could carry a longer franchise?
I don't know.
Really?
I mean, it is interesting to see like, are they gonna would they pick up where she's now the possessing person and you're following like those people at the frat house, or
Mhm.
would it be somewhere else? Is she still gonna be with the thing, or is it gonna be like a brand new person each time?
Yeah, you could do either way. It could work like beautifully in any vein. From Vulture, uh, that's where the news article comes from. Talk to Me director Michael and Danny Philippin, um, as an influence on their A24 horror hit, which makes sense when you think about it, is its tone. Like Bong's films, Talk to Me careers between volatile emotions. It's part giddy, vicious teen horror romp as part of a Ari Aster influenced trauma horror. So that ceramic hand being the basis and antithesis of the film, it's the hand of a medium that allows the living contact to contact a random dead person in the spiritual realm. So basically, the ending, um, the particulars of this universe are detailed in a massive mythology Bible and co-writer Bill Hensman developed for Talk to Me. That guide breaks down every spirit that's in the kids, connected with why they're connecting with them and all the people that have had the hand, where the hand came from, what are the actual rules. So there's more than enough material to burn through a prequel or a sequel. And that's one of the things that they've already shot found footage for a prequel exploring the backstory of Cole, Ari McCarthy, and Duckett, Sonny Johnson, the brothers whose deadly confrontation is caught on cell phone cameras in the beginning of the film. So they do think that they could do a prequel with the two brothers from the opening. So that's interesting.
Oh yeah, that was actually set up too.
Yeah.
As I've said, like this thing, the franchise, they seem to do a lot of uh using their
World.
foreshadowing and capitalizing on it to the fullest.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fantastic. I think this is one of those films that, like I said, it's going to be your go to for your spooky season. It's going to be your number one at some point. We highly recommend it. I think you should definitely see it.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
definitely see this thing having a big streaming presence.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, our final glance at this film. This is, both of us have given this phenomenal praise. I think that we believe this is a movie that's going to be, if it develops into a franchise, it's going to be one that I think will continuously have flow of persons in influence of other films in the future. I think this is a trendsetter that's going to be a pillar of new development going forward in the horror genre.
Yeah, I can see a lot of these people getting work after this because, like, the cast was talented, the writers were good. I mean, I definitely want to see more.
Yeah. Yeah. This is going to be a big door opening for so many people, as well as so many franchises that could come out of this. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I definitely want to check it out. Any final thoughts that you want to share?
If you haven't seen it yet, definitely see it. If you can see it in theaters still, definitely see it in theaters.
Yeah.
And try to go to the latest screenings you can. Because
Yeah,
the
there's going to be
eerie the
months.
day this is, the creepier it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of 1 Week Later on To Be Seen, where we talk about horror movies that you should see. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps us out. And if you could give us a like, it doesn't cost you anything, but it really means a lot to us. The more likes, the more growth, the more movies we can talk about. And comment below, what are some of your favorite moments from this film? And if you haven't seen it, why didn't you? Please be sure to follow us on social media at To Be Seen. You can follow us on Instagram, on Reels. You can do all the fun socials, Facebook, all that stuff. We're there. We're everywhere, and especially X. You can zeet us on the new X platform that was once the formerly platform known as Twitter. So there's a lot you can hang out and talk to us
Formerly known
about.
as Twitter.
Yeah, you can. The artist formerly known as Twitter. You can always reach out to me. I love chatting. You can have a great conversation with me if you do that, and you might even pop up on our show. We're always welcome to have you hang out with us. So we'll talk to you soon. Horror fans unite. Be sure to subscribe, and until next time, have a good one.
Later.